Welcome to Stripe Sessions, here live in San Francisco from the Moscone Center. So this is a sold-out event this week. I think there's 8,000 people here. We've got a few people around the table from the developer relations team and also the technical advisor who's going to let you know what's happened so far and what we expect for the next couple of days. So I'm going to start with you, Allison Farris, who's a technical advisor. You went to the keynote earlier, so give us some highlights of what you saw.
Yes, high energy. We have over 7,000 people attending here in San Francisco at Moscone West, so very exciting. We heard from Patrick and John, first around how AI and stablecoins are going to be the new breakthrough technology, and particularly when it comes to getting through a turbulent economy, for one. And then really leveraging and hearing about Bridge for builders and how it's going to be key to enabling borderless financial services. Another really exciting theme and topic, and then all of the exciting 60 plus new enhancements to our product that we're going to be talking about and announcing all throughout the week. And probably my personal favorite was a live demo. We all love a live demo, especially here at DevRel and Stripe. But John took the stage and was able to build an Ask Me Anything app, all through AI, through Cursor and development environment. So very, very exciting.
Yeah. You also picked us some stats earlier when we were chatting about the number of pull requests internally from Stripe. What were those again?
Yes, I know, and Stripe takes this seriously, talking about product development. So they were also saying that Stripe development teams, on average, deploy or go through 1,145 pull requests on average per day.
Wow.
Not that that gives me anxiety, but very exciting. So very cool to put into context just how fast we're innovating and building on Stripe.
And we still have pretty good uptime with all these changes as well. You had, was it 6 nines you said?
Yes, they're still running strong with 6 nines of uptime, which equates to roughly about 42 seconds of downtime. So pretty cool stats.
Yeah. So we'll come back to you in a few minutes to talk a lot more about stablecoin, because there's a lot to say there. But now we'll go to Ben. So Ben Smith is a developer advocate on our team. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
So what are you most excited about for the next couple of days here?
Well, other than just meeting people, talking to developers, I'm quite interested in a release that went out yesterday, kind of under the radar, which is the ability to talk to your Stripe docs, like in the website, right? So actually I can bring it up here if you like. Let me just share my screen.
Let's take a look.
So this just kind of snuck out there in a little doc update, and what it allows you to do is to highlight any piece of the Stripe documentation and to just click on this little Ask AI button, and that brings up this inline chat, and you can query the Stripe docs. And what this does is it not only is an LLM trained on the docs, but trained on an internal knowledge base as well. So it's going to give you different responses to what you get from any other kind of LLM that's just based on the public-facing docs, right? So what would you like to ask it about API v2?
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I mean, do you have anything on migration or what the differences are?
How should I migrate from v1? How about that? And you can dive deeper. You can have an entire conversation with your documentation here. There you go. Step-by-step guide. Beautiful.
So why is this different from using something like OpenAI or Claude?
Well, because it's trained also on an internal knowledge base as well as the public documentation.
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating. So this is only just started. We've already had a fairly big release that you showed us here.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah.
I don't think this is. I think this is just about mentioned in the developer keynote tomorrow, because there's so many other things they're going to talk about. I think you said earlier there's like 60 releases that are being announced this week, right? So loads of stuff going on.
Wow. All right, we'll come back to a few more things you got on the laptop in a while, but let's talk to Cecil Phillip. So you're also a developer on the team.
Yeah.
Give us a taste of what's happened so far today, because you've had a busy day already.
Yeah, I've been here really early this morning. Been here a long time. But one of the things that I got a chance to do was be part of our training and certification sessions that were earlier this morning. So we had 3 different sessions. There were payment performance. There was one on Stripe Connect. There was also one on billing. So we, for each room we had different types of folks. We had developers, we had analysts, and each of them kind of like picked their journey, right? Like picked their path into what I wanted to kind of learn about Stripe. So each room had, different workshops. We had different exercises. The developer ones were very hands-on. So it wasn't just us talking at you, but you actually got to put your hand on the product. Some people got a chance to play with some of the products that we're announcing this week, which was really fun. But we also got to see, what are the type of questions that they ask? What are the type of products that they're building, and how they think about integrating Stripe into their existing products. So I think not only was it a good opportunity for us to train and teach them. There's also a really good opportunity for us to get feedback too, to really understand like how do they actually think about integrating Stripe into their daily workflow.
Wow. So if you missed out on that training, if you didn't do this today and you want to take part in that, what's the easiest way to do some Stripe training?
Well, today, so if you head over to stripe.training, that is the URL, Stripe.training. You can go and check out all of the different certifications we have available. And I know the team has some announcements that they're probably going to make later this week. But if that's what you want to do, if you want to get up to speed with Stripe, I definitely recommend that you, one, check out our docs, but then two, also check out what's available on Stripe.training.
Great. While you were doing that today, I was busy with rehearsals. So we've got a really exciting thing this year with the dev track. So it's a brand new thing. It's a whole separate track specifically for developers here at Stripe. And so there's the developer keynote, which we had one last year, but we've got a bigger and better one this year, with also 3 new sessions targeted at developers. And we also have an insider view into the track because we've got one of the speakers here with Ben. So give us a preview of what you'll be speaking about.
On my talk, so we're going to be, me and my co-presenter, Tanya, will be talking about a new product that's getting launched tomorrow. I won't tell you what it's called, but it rhymes with shirt flows, and it allows you to create these orchestration, automation workflows, damn, said it, that let you automate the Stripe API into a series of steps without writing any code, and build it on the dashboard itself. You don't have to spin up any servers. They run in response to events, and it's a whole new way of customizing Stripe and extending Stripe to a whole new group of people as well, right? So not just for developers being able to do this anymore. And we'll be talking about some of the fundamentals that the team put in place, protection from recursion, idempotency baked in, and walking you through with a real simple use case on how you would write that with code, and then how you can take that and build the same thing in workflows, and the differences and the payoffs between doing the code version and the workflow version.
I got a preview of this, so it's a really great session, but I should give a nod to the 2 other sessions that exist. There's one by technical support with Trikanth, and one of the product managers, MG, talking about the top problems that typically you see with Stripe and what the solutions are. It's a really good use of 30 minutes just to learn about those. And another one's about API v2. 2 product managers are walking through examples of what things look like in API v1 and v2. Again, another very short session, 30 minutes. Lots of information. So if you're a developer at the conference, well worth seeing.
In that first talk you mentioned, they talk about the split brain problem of where to store your data and how to sync it, right? I think that's the most common question I've heard from developers I speak to. So it's kind of cool to see that being tackled head on in that talk.
One thing that's great about all 3 sessions, the demos, because I know we do a lot of demos here. But a lot of these are very hands-on, seeing people on the stage solving problems directly. So it's not just all slides. So I found that interesting too.
Yeah, I think that's what you really get from when you see the company actually care about developers, right? Because there's one thing between I can tell you, but it's even better when I can show you, right? And so I think one of the great things that we're doing this time is when we're focusing more on developers, we're having that developer track, the developer keynote, and we're going deep into demos, right? So we have the folks right across from us, right over here, /dev/experts. So folks can go over there and ask tons of questions. We have some other folks across the hallway right over here that are doing different demos with Stripe Terminal and stuff like that. So there's a lot of hands-on opportunity for folks to, again, not just hear about what Stripe is, but actually feel it and touch it and experience it like for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I want to come back to Allison, because one of the big topics we want to get into is stablecoin. You spent some time around this, and you've got a session here on the channel tomorrow interviewing product managers about stablecoin. But assuming we know absolutely nothing, which I think many people, this is all brand new.
Just assuming
in this room.
Including me.
Give us a sort of preview of what you've learned about stablecoins and Stripe.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited about the week ahead. I got really tons of energy from the keynote today, because one of the things that they really highlighted in the keynote was not only us acquiring Bridge, but really overemphasizing that they want to make it easy for builders to be able to interoperate and build the future of borderless financial services, and that really has fundamentally kickstarted with the widespread of stablecoins and stablecoins adoption in the past years. So very, very interested in kind of hearing from the ground. We've got a ton of users here joining from all over the world. We have a ton of folks joining us from abroad. We have over 200 people joining us from our Global Delegates program. program, meaning that they're users coming in, both builders and growers on Stripe with us, to really understand and hear how they're going to be exploring use cases with stablecoins and how they're going to be enabling the concept of all of this borderless financial services capabilities, not only within their startups and their businesses, but just as kind of entrepreneurs and testers. So I'm very excited to talk about this in more detail.
And we should plug your session a little bit more tomorrow, because I heard a preview of that one and it's really interesting. The product manager brought up things that I had no idea about, that if you're operating in countries where Stripe doesn't operate, stablecoin is a great solution.
Yes.
And this is a real global first approach to currency, which is very different from today.
Absolutely. And I think another thing that was really emphasized earlier in the keynote is around just the scale and the size of where we are and how we're just beginning, with stablecoins being a really key enabler for kind of borderless commerce and just the next wave of global first just expansion. So I'm super excited about this. So be sure to tune in.
Yeah, we'll learn a lot more tomorrow. We won't spill any more beans, but it's definitely
from the PM. Maybe not from me, but I'm super curious, and that maybe that'll.
You'll be asking the questions.
I'll be asking all the questions. Don't have all the answers.
I think you should mention, James, that we have a whole schedule of episodes over the next couple of days.
What are we doing here? That's the real question, isn't it? So,
well, I can tell you what we're doing. So one of the things I'm really excited about is actually what we're just doing right now. And that's, we're doing developer office hours live, which generally we don't do it live. We do it once a week.
We do it live.
Once a week. Well, we do it live.
Yeah.
We do it live, we do it once a week, but we don't do it in person.
Yeah.
It's, I'm in my house, you're in your house, everyone's remote, but we're here in person, sitting right in front of each other, having real conversations in person. And we're going to be doing it live inside of this room between two ferns.
It's great.
We got the plants.
So we have the plants here, right? Fresh air, bright sky at the top, not really. Headlights and everything. And, we're going to be talking to different folks, right? We're going to be talking to partners, we're going to be talking to internal Stripes, developers, engineers, all types of people about, what are some of the announcements that are happening this week? How are you and your company building things on top of Stripe? And also just kind of learning, what are some of the common problems, what are some of the things that they're interested and excited about working on, and then seeing how we can kind of help them achieve whatever goals they have for their company.
Yeah, we should mention again, this is a sold-out event, so if you don't have a ticket, there's no way of getting in here. For sure. And really, with the 17 sessions we've got on the agenda, you get a good inside feel for all the different topics we'll be covering here. So I think Ben's got a link sharing.
Yep, I've had that up.
Oh, you have?
Yep,
showing the list of sessions?
Yep,
so
yep.
You can subscribe, I think, to all of those sessions. And
I think we have 17, including this one.
17?
Yes.
So one down.
Yes.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can head over to our Stripe Developers YouTube channel, which everyone is watching us on right now. You can see all the different sessions that we're going to be doing throughout the week. So obviously today's the first one, and then we're going to be doing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then, James and I in the morning will be talking about a little bit of a recap, like what happened the day before, what's going to happen for the rest of the day, and then obviously diving into some of the other hot topics that are going to get announced later in the day.
Also, if you're here at the event, you can ask us questions through the YouTube channel. And we're in the middle of the expo hall in a big glass box, so it's easy to find.
Doors have literally just opened as well.
Come and engage with the program live, so it really is actually a live event we're doing.
For sure. So I think we have a hashtag. I think it's #S25-office-hours. So we'll be looking at Twitter, we'll be looking at YouTube. So definitely feel free to send us your questions. We'll try to get them answered if we can. But if not, we have meetup programs, we have our social things that we're very active on. So there's a lot of different ways you can get in contact with the team, interact with us, get your questions answered, and hopefully we can be able to find solutions for whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Do you have some stickers there?
I do have some stickers. I do have some stickers. So speaking of developer office hours, specifically for Stripe sessions, we printed some stickers. I don't know if you can see these. Hey, look at the stickers. But again, if you're here in person, definitely feel free to come by the booth and we'll give you some stickers. Or like we mentioned before, if you join us for any of our meetups, we'll be giving these away as well.
Yeah.
But again, these are limited edition developer office hours stickers. When they're done, they're done. So
They'll be worth a lot in stablecoin in 2 years.
They will.
Maybe
Maybe even a year.
See, there you go. So,
Nice callback.
exactly. So again, these are just some of the things that we're doing for our community. Just to say thank you and let us know, let you know how much we appreciate, your support over the last couple of months as us trying to, build up the show and the channel.
Great. Now we are, as I said, in the middle of the expo hall, so let's just have a chat about where we're at and what's going on around us.
Sure.
So I presume everyone's had a few minutes to look around the expo and see what's going on.
I'm looking right now, and the doors have literally just opened, and thousands of people have walked in. It's quite fun.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So my favourite bit actually is when you first come in and turn left. I think it is. There's a whole area of pop-up shops, right? And they're real businesses that are Stripe customers, and there's some really cool like products that they brought in. There's one that's like a games console with Playdate.
Called Playmate, yeah.
It's got this winch on the end that all the games are built to use, and you can program game for it. There's
cool.
another one that's like a smart bird feeder with the image recognition that tells you the migration patterns of the bird and stuff.
And there's a discount on that today if you buy one at the conference, that's what they told me.
You want commission?
There's one that I think you'll like, it's chocolates.
I am going to be stopping by the chocolate store. I'm going to be picking up a couple of boxes maybe and taking it back with me when I leave.
Yeah, and there's one on coffee, but there's various other ones, but it's a great way of showcasing how regular, real businesses are reinventing retail by using Stripe this way.
Yeah, there's not many other events where you could just bring in a customer and like let them run a pop-up version of their business, right? Yeah.
It's really payments.
Yes.
All right there.
Yeah, it's great.
And even just around this sphere, we've got this developers lounge just here where they're going to get experts to answer questions. Partner theatre behind this with a range of partners presenting on interesting sessions. There's an area where we can get headshots, very useful.
Yeah.
And I think there's a store over there you found, Ben, with Terminal.
Oh no, that's just behind us here. That's Unified Commerce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have a demo of like 5 different ways that you can use Stripe Terminal, from like in restaurant to hotel, tuck shop kind of thing.
Yeah.
Did you say that word here, tuck shop?
No.
Okay. Don't know what the American English is for that. They've also got an example of a perfume shop, like different ways that you can implement ways of paying, like tap to pay versus other various terminal implementations.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to stop by yet, but you can go to the stablecoin spotlight in the expo. You can download an app, and then you can go to the Stablegrounds Cafe to order a lovely cold brew.
Wow.
With a touch of half and half.
Good. Yeah.
So, all by using a stablecoins purchase. So you can see stablecoins brought to life at the Stablecoin Spotlight Expo.
We'll have to try that. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I'm talking about, right? Like, again, we get to not just hear about these things, we actually get to try it out.
Yeah.
Like, I've never used a stablecoin in my life, so I'm very curious to head over there and download the app and see what does it actually feel like to carry out a transaction, you know what I mean, with a stablecoin.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention, it's not just the events we see at the conference for the next couple of days. There've actually been a lot of events going on outside the conference this week. So last night we were at the Mux conference. Yeah. That was pretty interesting. Lots going on there.
Yeah, that was a really nice meetup. So they had, I think, 3 different presenters talking a lot about plugging into Stripe. One person talked about Stripe events and their event management thing. There's another company talking about Stripe and authentication and how their company is trying to make that an easier situation for developers. Because when you think about developing software, right? Like what are some of the things that really scare you? It's usually security and having to deal with money, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 things that are really put pressure on you.
Yeah.
And so if we can make those situations easier for developers, if we make that experience easier, then I'm sure that'll a lot of people would love that.
Yeah. And there's another event tomorrow night, I think, with
I have it here.
Yeah.
It's I'll put the link up for people to subscribe.
Yeah.
So this one is a collab between 11 Labs, SourceGraph, and PlanetScale.
Okay.
And I think it's on the Thursday at 6 p.m. It's a closed down meetup.
Sure.
Really interesting group of companies as well, right?
Now, talking of meetups, Ben, you've been running a few meetups around the world, haven't you?
Yes, we have.
So
back in November, we started off rebooted our Stripe meetup program with London. Allison and I are in the London office, right? And we had 80 developers come and enjoy 3 different talks. I think we had 1 from a customer and 2 from people at Stripe. And it was a night to network and eat and drink and learn and just be part of the Stripe community, really. Yeah. And since then, we've done 9 more. So we've gone back to London every 2 months. We've also added Dublin, Paris, Chicago, New York, and we'll be adding Amsterdam and more cities. And we'll keep visiting back every 2 months. And people are welcome to come and speak. If you want a CFP, there's a link here. If not, just come and enjoy the evening and learn some more about Stripe and the developer community.
Yeah. So we've only just started this whole event. In the first hour or so with the keynote and the doors opening. What else have we seen or haven't covered? It's just been so many things coming at us.
Well, there'll be a bunch of blogs being posted tomorrow, I believe, right? And that's on stripe.dev.
Yep.
And this is the start of this 60 product releases. I don't think they're all going on stripe.dev,
No.
but some of the stuff that we're more associated with it for developers specifically.
Yeah.
So that's definitely worth pointing out, right? A way to find out how to use some of the new features and functions.
And then we have our some more keynotes to look forward to this week.
That's
So we have a product-specific keynote, so they'll be highlighting a lot of the 60 plus enhancements and chips that they'll be announcing tomorrow.
Wow.
I believe first thing in the morning, 9 a.m.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I know for me, I'm excited about the developer track.
Yeah.
Right? Because as a developer, that's what I care about, right? I show me the developer things. Particularly when it comes to developer AI, and I know we're going to be talking about our agent toolkits, our MCP servers, our VS Code extensions. Like Stripe has invested a lot in that space, and so I'm sure there's going to be a lot more announcements around what we're doing to make that situation so much easier for developers.
Yeah. There's just so much coming up. So I think that basically takes us to time on this session. So thanks to everybody for contributing to this. If you haven't downloaded the app, make sure you go to the Apple Store or Google Store and do that. There's tons of information about what's going on. And also make sure you go to the YouTube stripe.dev channel to see the list of sessions we have coming up. But that about wraps it for here. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.